Hey everyone, the final piece of Is Our Gain Our Loss is the speaking and listening group discussion slide. This is going to look a little different since I'm not here today. Instead of getting into your small group to have this discussion, you will reflect on Flipgrid if you have time. Make sure you follow the instructions on Google Classroom about how you may complete this Flipgrid. Take part in a group discussion on Flipgrid about changing technology. Think of an example of an invention or device, sorry about the typo, you once thought was wonderful, but now think is outdated. Like the video game platform that Lash mentioned at the end of her blog. With your group, compare and contrast your feelings about this example of progress with examples offered by other members of the group with Lash's blog post. So, for example, what example of outdated technology will you use? I'll talk about my game. I'm just gonna think aloud my thought process here. My example is a Game Boy Color. When was it popular? The Game Boy Color was popular back in the early 2000s, or 2000 and 2010, we'll say. Actually, not quite that long. What was it used for? It was used for gaming. For example, I played Pokemon Blue, Red, Yellow, and Silver on my Game Boy Color. How'd you feel about it when you first used it? Everybody wanted a Game Boy Color. I had a translucent purple Game Boy Color. It was like see-through. You could see inside. It was the coolest thing. When I was one of the last kids in class to get it when everybody was getting their Game Boy Color. And I was ecstatic when I first saw it. Now, I do believe it's a bit outdated because obviously the games that I'm playing on my phone are far superior in quality, image quality to the games that were once available on the Game Boy Color. Why have your feelings about it changed? I still love it. I'm still nostalgic about it, especially the Pokemon games. But my feelings about it have changed because it's just kind of the Game Boy Color has not advanced quite. It's outdated at this point. There are far more superior video game products. Do you feel this technology left a lasting impact on you or on society? Why or why not? Absolutely. I think the Game Boy Color was just one part of uh, the evolution of video game products. It started with the early Nintendo products, then we had N64, then we had the handhelds, and obviously now the Game Boy Color was perhaps one of the earliest handheld gaming devices. Now we're all gaming on our phones. But back in the day, back in the early 2000s, late 90s, it was the Game Boy that was all the rage. Go ahead and think about a piece of technology from your childhood that will help you reflect and hopefully be a little bit nostalgic about your past. Nostalgia is a good thing. It helps us to reflect and grow. If you have any questions, feel free to go back and watch these videos. You can always ask me a question on Google Classroom, and I'll do my best to get back to you. Enjoy. I can't wait to see the nostalgic reflections that you share.